Oh my gosh, guys. Okay, so that episode was probably the best episode that I've seen in a long time. Besides the finale episode was really good. It wasn't like a filler episode. It was like really good in my opinion anyway. I don't know if like anybody else is thinking differently. But yeah, Twitter was like blowing up. Usually I don't really go on my phone to tweet because I'm usually watching the live stream. So when I'm on two tabs, it kind of lags the live stream. So I try to go on my phone, but my phone like lags too, like because it was an old Android phone that I had. I mean, I didn't have it for a long time, but it was just an older model, so it would lag all the time, and I just got frustrated. But I got an iPhone. It's an iPhone 4S, by the way. And yeah, I bought it a few weeks ago online, and then I got it on Saturday. And so, yeah, this is my phone. I got it activated yesterday. And so, yeah, I could tweet and see everybody's tweets, and it was really fast. So, it was good. It was really good. And if you're not following me, I'm Ash Harmony. I'll leave it in the down bar below. Rolling the intro right now. Hey guys, it's Ashley. It is time for another Pretty Little Liars recap and review time with me. Taking this one to the grave. If I show you, then I know you won't tell what I said. 'Cause two can keep a secret if one of them is dead. Hey guys, it's Ashley, and this is my Pretty Little Liars recap for Season 4, Episode 15, Love Shack Baby. The A in the Love Shack is capitalized because, A, Pretty Little Liars, that whole thing. So the four girls, they try to decode Allison's diary or journal or whatever you want to call it that Hannah stole at A's lair in Ravenswood. Journal is full of secrets and stories, but Allison changes things in the stories. I mean, the stories are real, but she changes around the names and some stuff around so people wouldn't know who she was talking about. Only if you knew the real story you would figure out who it was about. The girls kind of take turns reading this journal. Emily decides to have like colored post-it notes, like a color for each of the girls, and so when it's their turn reading it, they can mark that page as their own story. For some reason, Hannah, she does not want to give the journal to Arya, and it made me think that maybe she read something in there. It says something that Ezra I was thinking either hooked up with Allison and his board shorts maybe, or that Ezra is like looking for her, like Ezra is A and she doesn't want Arya to find out that way. Maybe like she's trying to protect her. That's my theory. I don't know why else she wouldn't want Arya to see that. Like every time Arya would try to have the diary, she would grab it out of Arya's hands or change the subject. So, I don't know. It was also revealed that Hannah, she tore out some pages of the journal and Spencer noticed it, and so she kind of questioned her about it. She was like, "What are you hiding from us?" And I thought she teared out pages like something to do with Ezra being A or something. It turned out to be a whole different thing. It was like kind of shocking to me. Like I did not even know. So it's revealed, like Hannah finally reveals that she and Arya's younger brother Mike hooked up. Like what? That's so shocking. Like I just I did not see that coming. I did not see that coming at all. And then so there was this flashback of Allison and Hannah. Like Allison was, "Oh, Arya's gonna be so mad at you," and all of that. And Hannah's like, "Okay, you can't tell Arya." And so Allison promises that she won't tell Arya because then Arya would never forgive her. So then we're in real life, and Arya wasn't mad at her at all. I mean, because obviously that was a long time ago. And she said, "Oh, you actually thought I would stop being your friend?" And she wouldn't. She was more shocked than mad. She was shocked that Mike kept quiet about it that whole time, and she said that Mike had a crush on her, like a big crush on her for a long time before. So she wasn't that all surprised, but she was kind of shocked that he kept quiet about it. Also, we see Emily. At first I thought it was a dream, but no, it's in real life because obviously Allison's alive. Well, she has the journal reading it. She's in bed and all of a sudden Allison comes into her room through her window. And like, what is up with people in this show? Leaving windows open, leaving doors open. Like, you know, like, don't they like close their windows, lock their windows, lock the doors, lock their car doors? You know, like, you know, I don't know. Is that like a thing in Rosewood? Like, anyway, you think that they'd be more smart with like A running around, but anyway. Back to the topic. Allison talks about how she missed Emily and how Emily brought the better side of her and all of that stuff. And Emily tells her, well, that you scared me to death by thinking you were dead this whole time. And Allison grabs the journal and she says, I remember writing all of this. She realizes that Emily is still wearing her friendship bracelet. You know, the bracelet that she gave the girls before, the purple bracelet with their names on it. Then we see Emily just waking up from her alarm clock. She realizes her bracelet is gone, and then she gets up and looks into this little chest, like jewelry box thing, and then the bracelet's in there, and she looks and her window is like wide open. Like, why leave your window open at night, you know? It's kind of dangerous. It's kind of scary. Yeah, so that was not, you know, a dream. Like, I was obviously... She saw Allison, you know, before she fell asleep. We're still dealing with the Halo breakup. It's so sad. Like, why? And Hannah still thinks that Caleb left her from Miranda. I just don't get it. Why can't Caleb just tell her, you know? And then Hannah is getting close to that guy, Travis. The guy that helped Ashley Marin with her not being guilty and all that, the kind of bald guy. Anyway, yeah, he's like a good friend to Hannah and all, and I have a feeling they're gonna get closer than friends because, I mean, that's just how the show works, you know, like, I don't know, I think they're moving too fast. Because I'm like a hardcore Halo shipper. Why? You know, why did they have to break up? I don't get it, you know? I mean, I saw it coming, but I didn't think they'd break up that way. So also, Ashley Marin is working with Mrs. De Laurentiis because she accepted that job to work with Mrs. De Laurentiis in the last episode. Emily has the journal at school and she's reading it. Ezra, he's like looking from in the school and he's just like creeping on the four girls while they're like talking about the journal and all of that. It was really creepy. Pretty much the whole episode was him like following the four girls around. It was just, wow, that episode was well written. Like, so with Arya, it seems like she's in love with Ezra again, but she's not telling the three other girls. She's telling them that she's with Jake. I really think she should tell them. Maybe next episode. I don't know. I saw in the promo that Jake is in the next episode and asking her if she's afraid of Ezra. So maybe he knows something. So with Spencer, dad was seen talking to Mrs. De Laurentiis. Spencer automatically thinks that he's like fooling around or like cheating. Well, that's what I thought. I thought like he was like cheating on her mom because she was out of town, but no. But instead, he said he doesn't like to be accused of things, but he did say Toby's mom's death wasn't suicide. It was an accident. People said it was a suicide so they could cover up someone's tracks that was in the same room as Toby's mom. And it sounds really suspicious. I really want to know who was that other person now. Well, of course, we're not going to find that out until like way later in the show. Then he tells Spencer not to talk to Mrs. De Laurentiis while he is working with her. Like, that's kind of like biased. Why do you get to talk to her and not like Spencer? But then Spencer, she sees Mrs. De Laurentiis at the brew and she just tells her off. And like there's like all these people like watching them, and she tells her something about, don't think you can sleep around with my dad, find another lawyer. Because Mrs. De Laurentiis was talking to Spencer's dad because supposedly he was like the only lawyer that she could find. And so Spencer was wondering like, didn't she have found someone else? Because she thinks it's something else going on between them. Emily, after she has that dream, so she goes to the Kissing Rock, meet Allison. and someone is watching her. I'm guessing it's Ezra in the bushes. She waits there and nothing happens, and then she leaves her bracelet, her Emily bracelet, on the rock and leaves. Doesn't tell the other girls about it, but then they find out later. Arya finds out later. Then they figure out one of the stories out in the journal, that something about Arya used to stay at this bed and breakfast place with her parents when she's really little. And Alison mentioned something about it in the journal, and it was something like Busy Bee or something like that. It was called that. So they're driving, and then they're following the GPS. Well, Emily's driving and she's following the GPS, and somehow the GPS leads them to another road, and then their car just shuts off and they can't start it. And according to Arya's GPS, the road wasn't blocked or anything like Emily's GPS said. So definitely A planted something in that GPS. And the car stopped, so Hannah texts Travis, since he has a tow truck, to and get them, but he was 2 hours away and it was about to rain and storm. So Arya was looking at her GPS and she realized that Ezra's cabin is not too far away. So she tells them, oh, my uncle's cabin isn't that far away, we should go there, since, you know, it was gonna like start pouring rain and stuff. And so yeah, they believe her that, oh, so which uncle is this? And she has to lie all about it, and she tells them not to touch anything, like don't move anything. They say it's a nice cabin, you know, they believe her. They're at Ezra's cabin. Ezra, he goes to Hannah's house, and then he tells Ashley that he extended the deadline of some of Hannah's papers because he knew what was going on with how Hannah was having a hard time at home and all of that, but she hasn't turned it in yet, so he wants to start like tutoring her after school or whatnot, which is probably, I'm guessing he's lying. You know, he knows that she has the journal, so that's probably what he wants. I don't believe what he has to say at all. And then Ashley has a phone call from her work, and so she has to take the call. So Ashley goes into the kitchen, and Ezra has this creepy look on his face, and I'm like, no, you can't leave him in your house. Like, you have to be there. Like, why? So while she's talking on the phone and looking through all these papers in the kitchen, he's going upstairs in Hannah's room, dumping her bags out. He's looking for the journal, turning on Hannah's computer. So creepy. Like, that is just taking it to the next level. And then he hears that Ashley is going off the phone, so I wish that she caught him. I really wish that would have been something, you know? So then when she's off the phone, he's just on the chair waiting. It's like, oh, and they say, oh, sorry it took so long. And he's like, oh, it's no problem. And then, so the girls are still in the cabin trying to get warm, and the 3 girls confront Hannah about Mike and all of that. Like, her story with Mike when they hooked up and all of that. And Ezra, he starts driving to the cabin. He realizes the 4 girls are in the cabin, and he sees the journal right on the coffee table. Then Hannah storms out because she doesn't want to talk about Caleb and all of that, because she tells them that they broke up too, and she doesn't want to talk about it. So Emily follows her out. Then Arya and Spencer, they go to find blankets in this closet. Then there's a Hollis College t-shirt in the laundry basket, and then Arya has to like quickly turn it over, and Spencer kind of like knows something is up. Like, she's kind of suspicious on Arya. And all of a sudden the door closes on them and they're locked inside. They can't get out. They peek through the keyhole and they see A in the lair with all black. Yeah, and they left the journal on the table. So that's a smart move, right? And they can't get out at all. Arya and Spencer, they see this little window on the top, and then they open it and they start calling out for Hannah and Emily, since they can't get out the door. They opened the door for Spencer and Arya. They said that the front door was locked, so they had to get through the back door. They said that they were locked inside of the closet. They couldn't get out. And they say that A was in here. Travis appears, and it was funny because they see like a shadow of his head, and so they automatically think it's A. So when they open the door, they have all these like things ready to hit him with, but it was Travis. So he drove them home, and he's with Hannah in her house, and he doesn't want any money. He said he just wants to be a good friend to her. Seems like a nice guy. I can see where it's going though. All of a sudden she just starts breaking down crying. She's obviously hurt by Caleb still. And then Travis just sits next to her and just he seems really concerned and worried about her, you know. I don't think he's like creepy at all, but I just don't want them to date, you know, like not yet anyway. Then Arya starts talking to Ezra on the phone and she asks him, "Oh, so how was grading the papers? Did you get everything done and all that?" Because he did say that he was busy with papers, but obviously he wasn't. He was tracking down the girls and all of that. He says, "I love you." And Arya kind of hesitates, but then she says, "I love you" back. And she's at Emily's house, and Emily asks if that was Jake, and she lies to her and says it was. You know, she really should tell them that it's Ezra. I'm pretty sure they won't be mad. They get a text from A, and it's a text of that B place or bed and breakfast B place or whatever it's called, and it's something about that you're making it easier for me or something. And then they figure out that they're making it easier for A. Whoever finds Allie first gets to keep her. Remember that text? So they're making it easier for A to find her, since A now, you know, Ezra now has the journal with all the decoded pages with all their, remember they color coded each story. Then they rush out of the room. But then we see the ending with Ezra on the computer doing all this hacking stuff and the journal right next to him with all the color coded pages. And that was the end. You guys think of the episode? I really loved it. I was on the edge of my seat the whole time. Like, it's getting better and better, and I did not realize that this show has been on like for like 4 years, like almost 4 years. Like, it came out, when did it come out? Like in 2010, like the summertime. Like, that's crazy. Like, have I been really obsessed with this show for almost 4 years? I don't believe it. It doesn't seem like it's been 4 years. But yeah, I don't want it to end, but at the same time I do. Like, do you get me? I don't know. Like, I want it to end because I want to know everything. Like, I want to know, this is why Ezra is on the A team. I want to know why Allison faked her death. Like, I want to know who's in the coffin. It's not Allie, you know, if they're doing the twin thing. Like, Allison isn't part of a twin. Well, that's what I heard. I heard that someone else on the show has a twin. I want to know who has a twin. Like, it's freaking me out. Like, you know, it's keeping me up at night. I'm kidding, it's not. I'm gonna go now and leave your comments down below and your thoughts and whatever you want to. And bye guys, peace out.